This is Podcast Theory.
Greetings and salutations. I am Jason Sircone, and you are strapped in for the debut installment of Podcast Theory Live. I am coming to you from the bomb shelter today, the official studio for Podcast Theory Live, as well as my other podcast and live stream, Let's Blow This Up. Today, I wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown of what you can expect from this series. Also, I wanted to take some time to kick this off in style and talk about a subject that I am incredibly passionate about lately. It's called a discovery, call it a revelation, but it's something that I've been leaning more and more into as I've been observing what we've been doing in the social media sphere these days. And just overall wanted to give you my thoughts to kick this off. But before we get to that, let me set the table for what you're going to experience here on Podcast Theory Live. So in an effort to bring this YouTube channel to life, I wanted to do something that brought back the Podcast Theory podcast in a new way. Let's Blow This Up, my other show. I'm doing a weekly live stream every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. that does air here on YouTube as well. And I felt since I was leaning so strongly into live streaming for that podcast, why not do it for Podcast Theory? So if you've listened to Podcast Theory in the past, it's been known as Pod Theory. And for a very fleeting moment, it was known as Solo Podcasting Simplified. I did a season based on solo-based content and did a little bit of rebranding that maybe I could have done a little bit differently. But nevertheless, those episodes live on in the archives of Podcast Theory, and there's some great content in there for podcasters, new and experience. Yeah, that's right, new and experience. There's a lot that you can gain from those episodes. So please jump back in the archives and check out some of that content. Admittedly, because it started back in 2021, some of that content may be a little bit dated, but there's also some great evergreen content in there and some good, solid strategies to help you in your podcasting plight. Going forward, as I add new content to Podcast Theory, the plan is to do two things. One is to do these daily live streams right here on YouTube. So you're going to get to experience this in video format. And I'll be doing a lot more with the graphics and overall production that you experience here on YouTube. But the audio feature of this live stream will be pulled and put on the Podcast Theory audio stream. And you can listen to this in replay format on your favorite podcast streaming app. So you'll be able to find this on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, all the great networks across the board. But for today, as we sit here on YouTube, the plan is to do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. And I'm not looking to go long form with these. So the goal is to bring you great content in 15 minutes or less. The sweet spot I'm figuring is going to be anywhere between 5 to 12 minutes, give or take. We'll see how things go. But the idea with these episodes is to dive deep into the podcasting world. And that's what Pod Theory, Solo Podcasting Simplified, and now Podcast Theory is all about. It's all about exploring this amazing world of podcasting for businesses, even for hobbyists. This is going to be more focused on the brands and businesses that are utilizing podcasting. But at the same time, there's a lot of great information that's going to be shared here that anybody that's turning on a microphone and recording podcast content can draw value from. So please, if you know any podcasters in your life, take a moment to share this live stream, and I will be putting a schedule together as this thing starts off. I'm getting a feel for when, live, you can't edit this stuff out. I'm getting a feel for when I want to do this during the day. So at the beginning stages, the live streams are going to be sporadic here on YouTube. So to make sure you don't miss anything, make sure you click the bell here on YouTube as well as subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get a notification when I'm going live. Also, jump on my email list because I'll be sharing a schedule there once I start getting that put together. Right now, just getting a feel for when the best time of day to go live is going to be, and we'll proceed from there. But again, if you happen to miss the live stream portion of this, that's okay. You're going to be able to join the replay, check it out here on YouTube, as well as find the audio on the Podcast Theory streams. Big thing about being here on YouTube and being here live is you can interact with me. So if you have any questions about the subject of the day or any comments, you can drop them in the chat and I'll be sure to feature them here on screen and try to answer any questions or provide any feedback to the comments that you provide. So that's a rundown of what you can experience here. Again, if you're not already subscribed to the Bombtrack Media YouTube page, just click that subscribe button, click the bell so you know when all new videos go live. Please don't be a dick about this. Now, moving into the subject of the day. Again, kicking this off in grand fashion. This is an observation that I've made recently. When it comes to social media, obviously, it's changed our lives. It's brought a ton of value to the world. Social media has done so much in regards to communication, to connectivity, to helping us find people that we haven't had an opportunity to talk to or didn't even know where some of these people had ventured off to in the world. It's given us a platform in which to connect with those people and rebuild relationships in a lot of cases. We've also experienced some negativity when it comes to social media, more so lately than ever. A lot of this, it stems from the divisiveness that these networks bring. Sometimes it's very hard to even bring an opinion forward without somebody jumping on our ass and giving a shit because we believe in something that they don't. And it's a sad state of affairs when we can't have a healthy conversation where two sides that don't necessarily agree can come together to share ideas and offer new perspectives and maybe give somebody else something new to think about. We're so quick to shut these things down and just tell somebody why they're wrong that day after day, as we move forward, the social aspect of social media is getting removed from these platforms. In order to get the most from the social media side of things, you have to work very, very hard at making genuine connections, at not just posting and hoping something great happens, but in addition to sharing content, you have to make connections by dropping comments, by reaching out to people in DMs. And no, I'm not talking that salesy bullshit of, hey, buy my thing. No, I'm talking about genuine connection, making relationships happen. This is how real life works. And social media has always had that aspect built in. But in the world that we live in today, where sometimes we don't even know if we're connecting with a real person, we might be connecting with a bot, that gets increasingly difficult. What I've been seeing more and more, what I've been believing more and more when it comes to social media, podcasting is that form of social media that we once utilized Facebook and Instagram and all the other platforms before. We used it to make those connections, to build those relationships. Podcasting gives us such a powerful way to do that each and every day. Whether you're coming to your audience with a daily live stream like I plan to be doing here, or you're just connecting with them weekly with your show, or you're using it as a networking platform, which you absolutely should be. If you're in the podcasting space, if you're creating content or you're a guest, networking is where it's at. If you aren't using podcasts for making genuine connections that could lead to powerful, even lucrative relationships, you're really leaving a lot on the table. That's why I feel podcasting is that new pillar for all brands and businesses going forward. Remember when we lived in a world where websites came along and people are like, God, what do I need a website for? I've already got a phone number. People are calling me. I'm good. Until everybody else in their space got a website. And they realized these businesses, in order to keep up, they had to get one too. Then social media came along and it shook everything up. And people said, I don't know if I need that. It's just where people are posting where they had for lunch, right? Like what they had for lunch, right? No, it's a little bit more than that. And people resisted that until they no longer could. Now, podcasting is entering into that conversation. And the reason why I feel so strongly about it is because there are so many benefits in regards to communication and connection and collaboration that this platform offers that it's downright foolish for businesses to ignore this. So if you haven't leaned into podcasting yet, now is the time. I believe we are in a world, if not there yet, we are so close. We are right on the edge of this, to where podcasting is going to be that pillar that stands up next to websites, stands up next to that phone number if you want to go real way back in time, and stands up next to social media. These materials, these assets that you create through a podcast oftentimes are shared on social media. So you're building that content that you need for engagement and discoverability and to keep the communication going on those platforms. If you are leaning into the advertising side of things on these platforms, creating this content is so important, and podcasting gives you a way to check all of the boxes in a much more efficient way. If you haven't thought about the value that podcasting can bring to your business and to your life as a whole, it's time to start thinking about that differently. I am going to be talking about this a lot more in these live streams here on Podcast Theory Live, as well as across the entire Bombtrack Media footprint, because I believe very strongly that podcasting is the next thing that all businesses need to have. It's going to get to a point. I guarantee you this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I can foresee this happening. And I'll come back to this video on June 10th, 2024 and say, aha, I was right. Podcasting is going to be that new element. It's going to be that new pillar. When businesses are saying, I don't really know if I need a podcast, when everybody else in the industry that you're in has one, you're going to need one too. So why wait? Now is the time to lean into these strategies, and I'm here to help you do it. So please subscribe and click the bell. You can gain a lot from these live streams that will be going live daily, Monday through Friday. Also, jump back in the Podcast Theory archives in the audio format of the show, and you can learn a lot about strategies and get different commentary on various aspects of podcasting. But I am pumped to be in a position to join you daily and have these conversations and lean into the strategies of podcasting, helping you realize how important they are and how much they can bring impact to you and your business. So I am right in that sweet spot, in that 12-minute mark. I am going to sign off on this debut kickoff installment of Podcast Theory Live right here on YouTube each and every weekday with new content coming your way, covering various aspects of podcasting. I'm glad you could check out this debut inaugural installment, and I look forward to joining you in the future for future installments. Kind of said the word future twice there. Again, this is live, can't edit. I am Jason Sircone. This has been Podcast Theory Live. Thank you very much for joining, and I look forward to being with you again tomorrow. Until then, take care and have a great day.